I ain't got nothing set up. I know we are live. Tell me when we go live if I can't see. Huh? Are we live? Hello, YouTube coin community. It's me, Robert with CoinOp. We was early, and why do we have Brad there and not me? I don't know. But that's okay. There we go. You know how it is sometimes. Hard to get good help, guys. The producers, what can I say? So, we're going to take and we're going to start off by giving a little bit of news here. We're going to get news from Brad today, from JB today, and from me. I like my new glasses. Florina gave them to me. Okay, here we go. Let's take it over to Brad. Give some news, Brad.
All the news that's fit to print. Well, remember, upcoming shows, the Central States Numismatic Society, the big one, May 1 through 4, Schaumburg, Illinois. $15 a day, $30 for a 3-day pass. Opens at 10 a.m. daily. Free parking, which is well worth just going for the free parking in Chicago. Educational presentations, and to top it all off, you can come visit me at table 1400. Come in and say hello. The 19th and the 20th is the Westchester Coin Show in Tarrytown, New York. The Georgia Numismatic Association, Dalton, Georgia, on the 19th and the 20th. The 19th through the 21st, Buffalo Numismatic Association in Cheektowaga, New York, as well as California State and Arcadia, California. One-day shows, the 20th, Charlottesville Coin and Stamp in Charlottesville, Virginia. Tucson for the 21st, Tucson Coin Club in Tucson, Arizona. Fort Lauderdale Coin Club, Plantation, Florida. Buckeye Coin in Hilliard, Ohio, here in the Buckeye State. North Attleboro Monthly Show in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. Onondaga Numismatic Association, Liverpool, New York. And the Nashua, New Hampshire Coin Show, of course, in Nashua, New Hampshire. Also, I would like to alert you to a major theft in the rare currency. Rare Kentucky national banknotes reported stolen in Illinois. 6 individual notes on the Horse Cave, Kentucky Bank. 2 on Mumfordville. 1 Owensboro, 5 Glasgow, and 1 Russellville. Those are rare notes. If they show up, we need to have them checked. They are reported stolen. Also, coming up, they're going to be putting a banner up in a little bit telling you about the Anti-Counterfeiting Educational Foundation, ACEF. Their mission is to educate people, educate the police officers and people at the airports in not immigration, but that are checking the imports about counterfeit coins, notes, and bullion that are coming into the United States, mostly from China. So if we want to help stop this flow of counterfeits, they're looking for donations. Now, I know it's tough. Everybody's looking for a donation, but you can go to info@acefonline.org if you want to know more about the organization. But here today, if you send $10 to CoinOp, I will match $10 in donations up to $250. So let's raise $500 for the ACEF so they can help keep the counterfeit coins and currency from coming into our country. That's the news, and back to you at the desk, Robert.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Guys, we have that information scrolling right down below. So do not send it in a super chat. Send it friends and family to PayPal, or you can send it to Venmo. Both of them under airstu@aol.com. Again, the information is being scrolled right across there. So come on. Come on. Just send $10, but do it friends and family so I don't have to pay that 3% from for the service fee. I'm not going to worry much about it. We do enough business with PayPal, and we have throughout the years. I don't think they'll bother us. However, let me see here. Did I? I see. Down over the corner here, guys, we have Brandon. He's got a little bit of news. I want you to hear that. I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you guys some great news. So, okay, Brandon, take it away, my friend.
Howdy, CoinOp community and everybody watching. It's good to see you all again. Sorry I missed you last week, but I did go back and rewatch that Mercury Dime presentation. Wow. Big news on March 26th at the Stacks and Bowers Galleries Rarities Night. Check your Benjamin Franklin half dollars. There was a MS-68 full bell line, 1948, Philadelphia, Benjamin Franklin half dollar that sold for $84,000. That's $84,000 for a 1948 MS-68 full bell lines graded by PCGS, sold for $84,000. So what you want to do is you want to check out your albums, and if you have a good looking 1948 Franklin half dollar in there with possible full bell lines, you might want to think about preserving that, getting it slabbed, but understand it needs to be MS-68 or higher to realize such a high premium. So just wanted to tell you all about that. And then, of course, we've seen a massive rise in silver over the past 14, 15 days. That this annual silver report came out yesterday from the Silver Institute. I encourage everybody to check that out. There's some massive problems with the annual silver report. We saw numbers in there that if you look at previous year's silver report, there's a lot of changes. And I'm not going to say it's fraudulent by any means, but it's very suspicious why the Silver Institute would go back and revise numbers from previous years without a disclaimer of new information or anything like that. So silver is rising because we are entering year 4 of a deficit. And what I mean by that is you're looking at about 1.2 billion ounces, 1.2 billion ounces used in industry and whatnot. And then you're only looking at about 700 to 800 million ounces actually mined every year. And that's been going on for now 4 years where silver is at a deficit. So we almost touched $30 on Friday. We got it 4 cents away from $30. And then the price got smashed way down because a lot of orders and stuff got sold in the ETF market. And, again, on this show, we don't like to practice in conspiracy theories, but we do like to, do our research and our homework. And we're seeing a lot of weird things in the silver market. So hold on to your silver if you've got it. Always check those Coinstars. Always try to, get some old bank wrap rolls and search those for free silver because silver is definitely going up and it's affecting numismatic prices across the board. Other than that, we all know what happened over the weekend with Israel getting attacked, the largest drone attack in world history, in modern warfare history. And there was also about 100 missiles. That means the Middle East is further destabilized. Oil prices are going up because the Straits of Hormuz is getting more dangerous, and 20% of the world's oil flows or ships through the Straits of Hormuz. So, coupled with a lot of the protest action we're seeing here in the States, a very unstable Middle East, war in Ukraine, it's never a better time to make sure that you're taking care of yourselves and your family. And I encourage everybody to, just get a little bit of physical stuff. And if you have stocks in the ETF SLV, I highly encourage you to talk to either, Brad or Mr. Lawson or a financial advisor. I highly encourage you to take some of that money out of your ETF, exchange traded fund, and get some actual physical silver, because those exchange traded funds are being highly manipulated just as badly as the actual physical market as well. So that's about all I've got for you. But again, physical. Right now is the time to keep your eyes out in bank wrap rolls and Coinstar machines and all that stuff, and get as much silver as you can, as cheap as you can. That's about all I got, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, JB. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you real quick. Don't forget, what was it? Last Thursday, I did a presentation on Mercury dimes. So I took and I told you guys, hey, go into the comment section at the end and write in dime FBL, and you will be entered to possibly win this 1 ounce silver rendition of a Mercury dime. It's just 1 ounce of silver, but like JB just said, it's physical. When you can grab it and touch it and feel it, it is absolutely yours. So that's pretty important to me. I agree with him 100%. Now, another thing I want to let everybody know, all of you guys out there, Frank, Budget Coin Hunter, Compton, I see, Patrick Johnson, hello, welcome to Coin Op, Frank Bonds, everybody, okay? Give Florlina a great big round of applause. She is now an official discoverer. She discovered a Brazil. Let's see here, 1859. Let me show it to you. Florlina discovered this double die, and Ken Potter has taken and he's registered it. Now I'm going to take and try and get it where you guys can see it a little better. There we go. I know I've got it under the scope just so you guys can see the doubling on it. But it's a double die obverse and a double die reverse. There you can see it. But it is listed by Ken Potter as a VCR number 1, DDO number 1, and DDR number 1. And it's registered that Florlina Barati Lawson, she will be the one who is construed as the discoverer of it. Now that is, well, here, let me show you the date real quick. There's the date of it, 1859. So, and like I say, you see the doubling there, here on the backside. I'll see if I can't find you. I know there's doubling here somewhere. I've seen it, I promise. But, you know, if you guys live with Florlina like I do, there you go. You can see some doubling there. You would know, I mean, it's a nice double die. So there you go, folks. I am extremely proud that my wife is a discoverer. So yes, welcome to the world of being a discoverer. It's just fun. So, okay, guys, that was my news. I agree with what a lot of JB said. And yeah, don't forget, if you send $10, please make it friends and family. You can do it through PayPal or Venmo. Both of them at AirSU@AOL.com. Just do me a favor, like I say, make it friends and family so we don't have to worry about paying that 3% to PayPal. And we will take, and what we'll do is I'll get that straight to Brad, and then Brad can take, and remember, Brad's got to pull money out of his pocket, so make him pay. In fact, I'm going to make certain that CoinOp donates a little bit to where we're going to make him pay up on that too. So, without further ado now, we're going to go to, it's going to be a discussion between Alden Davis and Brad. Alden's going to be asking some questions on bust material. Do me a favor, guys. If you have a question, go ahead and sit back and get ready. If you have a question on bust material, see if you can't stump Brad. So, without further ado,
It's going to be a wild year. I think we're going to see some.
Hey, everybody.
I got you.
Welcome to Coin Op, and hi to everybody that's in the chat, that's watching. And please donate. I'm going to be donating. Make sure it's friends and family if you go through Coin Op. Brad?
Yeah. I'm okay.
Okay.
Waiting for the Alden-esque questions to start. And everybody else at home, if you have a question, type it in. We'll fit you in between. Alden can only ask so many questions before I think he explodes.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's see what we got. Where are you going to start, Alden?
I'm going to start real simple. Who designed the cat bust half?
I have no idea.
You have no idea who designed it?
Well, rumor has it that it was John Reich.
Exactly.
There's
John Matthew Reich.
there's another researcher out there that thinks it was Robert Scott. So they think Robert Scott may have designed it and then made John Reich do the work. So we'll have to wait and see what comes out of it. But as of right now, we're still giving it to good old John Reich.
I have read that same theory. All right, question number 2. Who's the first mint to produce the capitalist half?
Wow. Let's see. That might be the mint in Philadelphia.
It might be, because I
It
think
might be.
it's the
Yeah,
only
that
one
was the only one
existent
we
at the
had then. So
time.
I guess we'll go with that. That was the only one producing coins up until what, 1830?
Something or another.
8.
Something like that.
Okay.
Okay. Question number 3. Why is there no cap bust, silver dollars?
They weren't making any.
And why is that?
They stopped. Well, I don't know. They didn't really need them. So let's go back and study our history a little bit. What was legal tender in the U.S. in the early 1800s? Wasn't just
Coinage.
U.S. coins.
No.
There were a lot of European coins, and especially Spanish colonial coins were legal tender in the U.S. And what were there more of than anything else hanging around? There were more Spanish 2 reales and 8 reales, which equated to quarters and dollars. So if you look at the amount of quarters that were made by the U.S., they were very small numbers compared to the other denominations. And we stopped making dollars in 1804. People say it was because people were able to trade them for bullion in other countries and make a profit on them. But news flash, if you read the latest John Reich journal, we have 2 authors that put that theory to bunk. Just a minute. So the latest issue of the John Reich journal, the lead article by Harry Salyards and Craig Shawley, 2 of the most respected numismatic researchers in the country today. They say Hamilton's standard for the early U.S. dollars was correct, meaning they didn't take them all to the Caribbean and trade them and make money on them. Now, we were sending a lot of them out to other countries to pay our bills, but so there's a lot of differing opinions on why the dollar was not made after 1804. So you can
I've
pick
read
one.
several theories on that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can pick one. You can ignore all of them, but just understand the fact that there were a bunch of Spanish colonial 8 reales that were used as dollars that were floating around. So we concentrated on making other denominations. So what is the rarest Spanish colonial denomination? Alden?
I don't know. I have an 8 real, but
Okay. Well, if we didn't make dollars because the 2 and 8s were so common and we made a bunch of half dollars, what was the most scarce Spanish colonial piece?
the 50-cent equivalent.
Right, the 4 reale.
Yeah.
So there you see kind of a parallel.
Cool. You ready for question number 4?
Okay.
What type of press was used to produce the early capitalist half?
Well, let me see. Was that Steam-O-Matic iron? No, it was a screw press.
No.
It was a screw press.
Yes,
They
it was. It was
screw press
called
there,
the
yes.
Draz press. Yep.
Yeah. We
The Draz
Droz, I think.
screw press.
And they were secondhand presses. So that explains some of the problems that we were having with making them. And it was I won't say relatively slow process, but it was a a process that didn't come anywhere near what we were able to produce later with a steam press.
Okay. Why did the cat bust have a leaded edge?
Because they had nothing better to do. The elves at the mint sat around at night putting letters on them. Well, let's go back and study history, and let's bring up one of our favorite friends, Sir Isaac Newton. Remember him? Well, Sir Isaac Newton was
Not personally, but yeah.
Well, you didn't meet him? Oh, that was Robert who knew him personally. Okay, so Sir Isaac Newton was the mint master at the British Mint, the Tower Mint. And the king went to Sir Isaac Newton and said, "Look, everybody's cutting down my coins and everything in circulation is not worth full value anymore, and we got a real problem. You need to solve this." So Sir Isaac Newton, the smartest man in the world at the time, probably sat down and decided we need to put an edge design on there to keep people from clipping the coins and cutting off some silver.
Or shaving the coin, yeah.
Shaving them. Speaking of shaving, you could use a shave yourself, sir. So anyway, he developed edge designs for coins. And so we put edge designs on our precious metal coins to keep people from cutting or shaving precious metal off of them and then spending them. Because what, in its truest sense, is a coin? A coin is a known quantity of bullion that can be traded. And in order to guarantee that it's the known quantity, you got to make sure that it's full weight and full fineness. And having the lettered edge on the $50 guaranteed that nobody had shaved any silver off of the edge of that and then spent it for its full value.
Great answer. Okay.
How did they put the lettering on the edge there, Alden? Did they?
Well, you're the one answering the question.
Did the elves put them on one at a time? Oh, you're going to ask me, huh?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Okay. Well, is that the next question?
No.
Oh.
But you can go ahead.
Okay, the next question. The next question is, how did the edge lettering get on there? Thank you, Alden. It got on there through a machine called a casting machine. And the casting machine actually did two very important things. It lettered the edge so that you couldn't shave silver off of it, and it upset the rim of the type 1 planchet, making it a type 2 planchet. And by upsetting the rim, it work hardened the silver and raised the rim, protecting the interior design, but also making the periphery of the coin of the planchet more stable, so that when the coin was struck and the energy ran from the center towards the outside, it hit this wall, which was the upset rim, and it contained the energy, and that allowed the coin to strike up better.
Actually, I knew the answer to that because you sent me a book that had a picture of that exact machine in it. So,
well, I'm glad that you got the book. I'm glad that you understand the pictures. Are you getting somebody to help you with the words?
I've got an interpreter, but
okay.
No, I really do appreciate that book. I really do. I got a lot of.
Hold on a second. Nick just asked a question. We got to take Nick's question.
Okay, take
Why
it.
were millions of bus coins shipped to Europe? Because we owed them money.
Yeah.
Okay. And it
we
was
didn't
Brady.
have any dollars, silver.
She has mistaken me for Brady. We're just as great, but we don't look anything alike. Okay.
Okay. Next question. What is the main or central device on the obverse of the cat bust half that is most prominent?
I'm sorry. What was the what device?
What is the main or central device?
Oh, the central device.
Obverse?
It's Miss Liberty. It's yes, it's Miss Liberty. Says so right on the cap. Oh yes.
Not according to your book.
It's not some fat German mistress of John Reich. That's just who winky. Okay.
We get to that question, but I have read in 3 different publications, including your own, that it was the stars that were the most. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I
Well,
got
I
you.
like the central device. I look at the central device first, so I'm going to go with Miss Liberty.
Okay. All right. Well, we got maybe it's some of both. All right. Next question. From 1807 till 1836, which is 29 years, 82 million were produced off the cat bust half.
I'll
Okay,
take
it
your
seems
word
like
for
a lot, right? Seems like a lot. But in 1979, there was that many or a few more of the Kennedy hats produced. Okay. So 29-year run, 82 million. How come? This is my question. How did so many cat bust hats survive in good or higher condition?
it. Okay.
How did
Let's
they
go back
survive
just a
that well?
second. Budget Coin Hunter said, did that also keep the coin from distorting on strike? Yes, although if you measure bust halves very carefully, they're actually a little oblong. They're not exactly round. Okay, so why do we have so many cat bust half dollars?
Mhm.
Well, let's go back and look at wildcat banking. Are you familiar with broken banknotes?
Yes.
Okay. Well, most of the time, banks had to keep some cash reserves to back their notes. And because the cat bust half dollar was the largest silver coin produced at the time, they were a popular item to put in the vault to back their paper money. Nick, I know. That's nice, Nick. All right. Nick knows a lot of things, it sounds like. But
Nick's
anyway,
a smart lady.
she's a smart something or other. But anyway, but they were used as bank reserves and held that way, and that's why so many of them are in AU and UNC condition still.
Right, because a lot of them are held in vaults. Bank
That's
vaults.
correct. How many survive today? Nick, we don't know. Why don't you start
No.
counting and let me know? But generally speaking, most people for early U.S. coins accept a 2 to 5% survival ratio, but with the bust halves, I would say it's a bit more because of the fact that they were saved as the bank reserves. 2% per PCGS. On cap bust halves, Nick, I would go with more than 2, with flowing hair, less than 2, drape bust, probably less than 2 also. So, do we have examples to show? Robert, grab some examples off of the internet and throw them up. I didn't really think ahead enough to bring
didn't
pictures.
either.
I'm sorry. All right, Alden,
Wow,
next
yeah.
question.
Next question. Okay. Who was the model for the cap bust half?
Don't know. It came
What's
out
the
of somebody's
theory?
imagination. There were people that said it was John Reich's fat mistress, but
Well, I had that written down as the question and the
yeah.
answer. I changed fat to overweight just in case. I didn't want
Well,
to
okay.
offend nobody.
Or let's say buxom
I
mistress.
do. Yeah, there you
But
go. Busty mistress.
somebody said, "Is it Martha Washington?" It was not Martha Washington, but there is no way to know. That is lost to history as to whether there was an actual model or whether it was just it was Flor-de-Lina. That's right. Flor-de-Lina was the model, but we don't actually know the answer to that question.
All right. Next question. Do people consider the cap bust half as a piece of history versus just a coin or an old coin?
Depends on who you talk to, I guess. It was a
I
little bit of
consider it
both.
both, but
It's
yeah.
a little bit of both. So as I like to do with all of my collecting is I like to tie the coin itself to something in history. And when I do my research, when I hold the coin in my hand, I like to think, what did this coin see? So I hold a coin from 1812, and I immediately think of the War of 1812 and what was going on in the United States at the time and things like that. So there we go. Well, that's a drape bust. So that's not the type of
That's
coin we're
not,
talking about. Very
yeah,
nice.
that's not,
Yeah, That's
it's not a
that's
cap bust.
that's not cap bust. That's the series before. Try again, Robert. And uh, as Nick says, back then being fat meant wealth. That's right. People had
That's
had
true.
plenty to eat, were a bit heavier than the rest of the population. So let's move on from there. What's next?
Okay. Next question. Is it hard to tell if a cap bust half has been cleaned?
Sometimes. There we go. There's a cap bust half dime.
That's a cap bust.
Yeah, that's a cap bust half dime. It's as easy or as hard as any other coin. But because they've been around so much longer, so many more of them at some point in their life have been cleaned. Now,
Well, that was part of my follow-up question is because the coin is so old, it's 150 something years old. And if it was an early cleaning, would it be harder to tell than if it was a newer cleaning?
well, yes, because it will have toned over and maybe hid some of the tail signs of the cleaning. But more importantly, if it was lightly cleaned and it's retoned, it would be considered what we call market acceptable. So the grading services will grade it anyway. And there's no guarantee that anything in a slab hasn't been ever cleaned or messed with. It is just the slabbing company is telling you by the number they put on their piece of paper what column of the gray sheet to look into to begin your search for value. So if we stop thinking of the grading companies as grading companies and think of them as pricing companies, I think you'll have a better understanding about what they're doing. So people will say, oh, well, look at this coin. It's an MS65, but it has more marks than these other MS65s. But as a trade-off, it may have a lot more luster. So they are pricing your coin, not necessarily grading it. Shane Mary does the tone come from cleaning? Sometimes. So when you get bullseye toning on bust half dollars that are in grades less than AU, I will tell you that I'm almost 100% sure that those have been cleaned at one time and then they've retoned. If you look at many of the Newman coins, now Newman was one of the great collectors in history. He had a lot of coins that they lightly cleaned in maybe the 20s and 30s and then put away in the Waite Raymond holders. And the toning works from the outside to inside, darker to lighter, and it forms what we call the bullseye toning or the Waite Raymond toning. So collectors today have determined that that is very desirable. Most collectors. I personally don't like it as much because it tells me that coin was compromised at one point in its life. But because more collectors like it, the grading companies are giving them what they want, giving it a straight grade and allowing it to trade in the marketplace. I have an article coming up in Coin World this week about that very subject, about the different surfaces that you'll find on bust half dollars. So if you're interested, you can tune into Coin World, either the paper version or online, and look that article up, and it'll talk more about the surfaces that you'll find on bust coins.
Okay, next question. There's a lot of eras and varieties and overdates. And I don't want to get into all that. We'd be here until next Tuesday. But I am going to ask about a specific one or two. Number one, tell me about the 1815 over 1812. And is this an altered coin or is it a common?
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of that question and differentiate between errors and varieties. Okay, an error is a mistake in the minting process. A variety is an alteration or a marriage of an obverse and reverse dies. So all of the 1815 bust halves are overdates, and the die was overdated from 1812 to 1815. So it is a variety. It's not an error. The die was originally made to be used in 1812, but what was going on in 1812, Alden? Oh, you're still muted there, buddy. There you go.
The war,
The War of 1812. Okay. So the War of 1812, where were we getting a lot of our raw materials to make, dyes out of, like dye steel? Where did that come from before 1812?
You tell me.
England. Okay. And so England decided we're at war. Steel would be considered a strategic metal at the time. And they said, hey, no, we're not sending any more steel to the colonies. We're in war with them. So
That makes sense.
there were a lot of shortages at the time. So we were not able to continue producing half dollars at the rate that we were. And they had the unfinished die or the finished die of 1812. And then finally, we got silver back and started minting coins again. And they overdated the 12 die to 15. And then what happened? At the end of 1815, the beginning of 1816.
Started
We had
getting
a fire at the mint. And that's why there are no 1816 half dollars or large cents. You know, we had a fire, destroyed the rolling mills, and they had to rebuild and get started over again. So that
So we
explains.
learn something new every day.
Well, somebody does. Thank you. What
Ready
a
for
Robert
the next
really went
question?
alive back then. Yes, thank you, Yote fan.
All right, next question. Is there many counterfeits, and how can you do you tell the difference between them?
Yes, there are a lot of counterfeits of cap bust half dollars, but let's look at it in two different ways. There are the modern counterfeits, which we are looking to stop. Remember, donate some money, stop the counterfeits. I'll match it up to $250. So the new counterfeits are one thing, but what Alden's referring to are what we call contemporary counterfeit bust halves. And contemporary counterfeit bust halves were made at the same time that the originals were circulating. And they were made not to fool numismatists. They were made to fool the people down the street at the grocery store or at the hardware store. So there are a lot of different counterfeits. Most of them were die-struck counterfeits, and they were struck on what we call German silver planchets, which basically is nickel. There's no silver in German silver. So they would look similar to what a bust half would look like, or hello, kitty, or they would strike them and then silver plate them. So there are hundreds of different die varieties of contemporary counterfeit bust halves. It's a separate section of numismatists that collect them. I have a relatively large collection of those also that I have beside my real coins. So some of them are very comedic in how primitive they are, and some of them are very, very close to the originals. And if you read the Coinage of America's conference book on contemporary counterfeits, Keith Davignon and I presented at the ANS in New York in 1998 a paper on contemporary counterfeit bust-haves. And in there, I speculate that one of the token makers of Philadelphia at the time period were possibly involved in a nefarious scheme that involved mint matrices, or the central design of the bust and the eagle. So when the mint went from the first Philadelphia mint to the second Philadelphia mint, there's in the 1832, there seems to be a spate of really good counterfeit halves dated 1832. So from that, I think that somebody had access to actual mint made tools and hubs. Okay.
Great answer. All right. All right.
Is
Well,
everybody bored yet?
you've already addressed this to a big degree, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it anyway. Is there a question of dipped and or artificial toning for the cat bust half?
Is there, what about dipped?
Is there a question of being dipped or artificial?
There's always a question.
toning?
If you have a white coin, there's always a question that it may have been dipped, especially a coin that's 150 or 200 years old. So dipping in itself isn't always bad. My rule of thumb is if the contaminant on the surface of the coin is worse than what you're going to do to the coin to remove it, then you should remove it. It should be conserved. You shouldn't leave polyvinyl chloride on the surface of a coin. Go ahead and remove it. It may also remove some of the toning or characteristics or dirt that gives the coin character, but PVC will destroy the coin eventually. So a lot of the white coins, especially bust halves, have probably been dipped.
Okay, great answer. All right, if you wanted to start collecting cat bust halves, what are the best year dates and or errors and or varieties to collect?
Okay, if you want to start collecting cat bust half dollars, just send me checks and I'll send you coins. Every collector is different. There are collectors that will collect a red book set. There are collectors that will graduate to an Overton marriage set. So it depends on how dedicated you want to be. It depends on what your budget may be. So if you want to get started on a budget, let's collect a few from the 1830s. You can get each of the year dates in the 1830s. You can get each of the year dates in the 1820s and 30s and not spend a ton of money. If you want to buy a nice VF coin, you're going to spend $100 to a couple of $100 per coin. Going to the red book set, they have included some very rare coins in the red book. The 17/14 is a $100,000 coin. So you have to kind of decide, where's my budget? But that should not dissuade you from making your own set. You can get albums that have spaces for most of the coins. Most of them do not include the 17/14 because of the rarity, but a decent 1815 is going to cost you $2,500 to $3,500. So that's probably the high water mark if you eliminate the ultra rare 17/14. So go out and look at them. If they appeal to you, start buying a couple and see if you want to go further in building a set. Many people, like I say, start with the Red Book set. As they get partially into it, they learn about Overton numbers. They get an Overton book, and they decide, I need 450 to complete my set. And so that's what I decided in 1978, that I was going to go. It wasn't 450 at that time. It was a few less. But I thought, I'm going to try to get these. And I started collecting them by Overton numbers. And currently I have 445 of the 450 business strikes. There's 3 more proof onlys that are part of the set. So if you really want to go deep, you go to 453. What's the most expensive cap bust half dollar in my collection? It is a cleaned AU 1827 Overton 148. So I was just speaking Greek to most of you, but it is a rare die marriage that there's only about a dozen known. The one that I have is one of the finer ones, except the fact that it would not straight grade because it's been lightly cleaned. So Robert says we have $80 in donations so far. Come on, guys. Pony up a little bit more. Let's get to...
As soon as we get off here, I'll be making a donation. So.
Okay, Alden. I'll match your donation up to 37 cents. And we'll see how that goes from there.
Just throw in a cap bust. It'll be good.
There you go.
Right. All right.
But as far as errors now, collecting errors and cap bust halves is very difficult. There's relatively few of them in the marketplace as far as like off-center strikes and things like that. There are a couple of very advanced collectors that buy and hold. So you don't generally find a lot of them. But if you want to go out and cherry pick something, go out and look for edge errors. So there are doubled edge lettering, triple edge lettering, missing edge lettering. There are flip over double edge lettering. So start looking at the edges of your cap bust halves, and you may find something that nobody else has that is just priced as a type coin. I have a dumb question. Is a cap bust half the same as a turban head half? Yes, it is. The Liberty cap that Liberty is wearing resembled a turban, and people use that term in the old days. It's not a current use of the term, but cap bust and turban are the same.
Okay, next question. Would you advise somebody wanting to start collecting cap bust halves to buy a book first, or rely on the internet, or a combination of both?
I hate to rely on the internet for anything. I use it. I don't rely on it. But it depends on, I think if you want to start collecting cap bust half dollars, you need to buy a cap bust half dollar first. Make sense?
Good advice.
You should have
Makes
a few
sense.
of them. Okay. Once you have a couple, then start learning about them. And you can start learning about them by buying a Red Book. That'll get you a good basic start. The Breen book, even though it has many flaws, is packed full of information. The Breen Encyclopedia.
Yeah, I have that.
And then if you get deeper into cap bust half dollars, Bust Half Fever by Souders is a great work to look up. The Peterson book on attributing cap bust half dollars by photographs, that is the first edition that you're seeing there that Alden has. Try to find the second edition. It's greatly expanded. And I'll tell you what, Robert, we're going to have another giveaway for next week. We're going to have 2 giveaways. I have a CD-ROM of the second edition of Bust Half Fever. And anybody can also enter for that. So Alden's going to give away a cap bust half, and I'll give away some more information. So I'll give away a CD-ROM of cap bust fever or Bust Half Fever second edition. The Overton book is, there you go. The Overton book is the Bible of collecting by die marriages. And the book will explain to you of finding each individual obverse and reverse die and the ones that were married together to produce your coins. And again, I mentioned the Peterson attribution book goes one step further from the Overton book and gives you close-up photographs of pickup points in order to help you attribute your coins more easily.
Okay, you ready for the next question?
Okay.
How important is the strike of a cap bust?
Well, now, that's a hard question to answer because some of the marriages don't come struck very well at all. So let's take 1809 and 1810 for an example. In 1809 and 1810, they had problems with the strike, and the left wing of the eagle was just horrible. So you have to pretty much ignore the left wing of the eagle when you're grading the coins from 09 and 10. Look at the right wing, look at the obverse, let the rest of the coin talk to you. So because they were struck on a screw press, they have different qualities within the same die. So let's think about, it's Monday morning. Guys come in after the weekend. They're strong. They're fresh. They're swinging the arms on the press pretty hard. They're whacking the coins out pretty well. By the time it gets to the end of the day and they want to go home, they're not swinging the arms of the press quite as vigorously. So you can get a differentiation in strike based on the energy in the screw press. You can get differentiation in strike due to the annealing of the dies. So the annealing of the planchets. If your planchet is still warm, it's more malleable than if it's sat around and gotten cold. And the production of the dies will also alter the strike between die marriages within a year. So a trick question. Yes, you want the best struck coin you can get, but sometimes a really poorly struck coin is a really rare one, or the best that you might be able to get for that particular die marriage. 1814 E over A in States is famous for not having the head of the eagle struck up at all. If you can see the eye of the eagle on an 1814 E over A, then you've got a pretty well struck coin. Many of them come with just the outline of the eagle's head.
Okay, I'm going to skip a couple of questions because we're getting tight on time here. But does rotation, does a die rotation make a difference in value to the coin, or is this a common thing in this series?
It's not that, excuse me, not that common to get wild rotations. You get minor rotations fairly often. Some people will pay a premium, but it's not generally something that people mention until it gets to be kind of crazy. So die rotations are not the rarest and not adding much to the value of most coins.
Okay. Skipping another couple of questions. If you could only have one cap bust half, which one would it be?
The finest known 1817 over 14. It won't be the rarest one. It'll be the most expensive one. It's just really, really a cool piece. And most of them aren't real nice because there was a problem with the die, and that's why the die was retired so quickly. So that was probably be one. There are other ones that are maybe cooler, but that's one. I would also consider one of the proof only issues, crushed lettered edge pieces of 1832, 33, or 34.
Okay. What caused the pulling of the stars and or the lettering at the edge, toward the edge of the coin when it was produced?
What caused it to deform?
Yeah, the pulling or
Okay. All right. So if you look at a
the-
bust half dollar, after it gets later in the die state, the edge of the stars pulled towards the edge of the coin. It's called die wear. Okay, so when a coin is struck, the silver planchet expands from the center outwards, right? Okay, that's physics. Okay, and at the edge, the silver is etching at the ends of the stars. Basically, the energy is flowing through the ends of the stars, and
And
it's
you can
etching
see
the
that.
die and draws the stars and the letters towards the
Mhm.
rim of the coin. So that'll be a typical issue that you see with later die state coins.
Okay. Next question. If the double is the double profile on a cat bust half considered a double die or a machine doubling?
Machine doubling, absolutely. It is the classic example of machine doubling.
Very classic.
There's only one double die cat bust half dollar marriage known. It's an 1823 reverse, but all the double profiles that you see is strike doubling or a
Right.
double struck coin. So you have to look a little deeper to make sure, but they're most always the double struck coin.
Okay. As Egmont Mangan would say a few years ago, the final envelope.
Uh-oh.
Final question.
Final Jeopardy.
There you go. If a person wanted to put together an overdate set of cat bust halves, how difficult would it be?
Extremely, because the 17 over 14 is in there. Like I said,
Yeah.
that's $100,000. So even putting together a set without that in it is going to be challenging. Overdates are probably the most popular of the cat bust half dollars, and everybody wants one. So there's a lot of competition. The 1812 over 11 large 8, very difficult coin to find. A VF
Rare,
coin,
very rare.
yeah, a VF coin will cost you $5,000 or $6,000 there probably.
Yeah.
You can
Minimum.
you can get a slightly compromised one for maybe $3,000, $3,500. I
Right.
have one, but it's the worst coin in my collection. It was at ground zero when Mrs. O'Leary's cow started the fire in Chicago. But I did also only pay $35 for it. So,
Well,
but
there you go.
I'm looking someday maybe to upgrade that one. But I think it's probably the most overpriced of the die marriages in the bust half dollar set,
I think
because
we lost you. Oh, there you go.
so many people need one to complete the red book variety set minus the 17 over 14. So the
Right.
demand for that coin is higher than normal. So,
Well, Brad, I appreciate you letting me pick your brain on the subject. And
but I
just
thought you were going to
through-
try to stump me with a question.
I know I stumped you once. I think.
No.
Yeah,
All
on
right.
the device. Yeah.
All right.
But anyway,
But if anybody else at home has any other questions, and that doesn't have
any
to
other
do with the
questions, bring them
half
in. And I appreciate everybody's attention, and I hope we didn't bore you to death. And Robert, back to you.
Okay, guys. Well, I just thought I'd bring everybody in. Just to let y'all know, Joe Durbin says that he's got internet problems, and JD had to go get his wife from the airport. So that's why we're down to 4. But that's okay. Welcome, Nick. I see you made it. Got plenty of questions. Nick, you asked Brad to go up to 500 on matching it. Are you going to take and be the one to get us up to the 500 mark?
Sure. I don't know.
We only got $80 in donations so far, so
Oh, I will make a donation after the podcast.
Me too.
that's
Nick.
all right.
So is he going to match 500? Because
No, I'm matching up to 250, which will get a $500 donation.
Oh, I
if-
think we can
if
get
you guys
500
come
if you
through.
match 500. I bet.
Just
I
make
don't
sure
even
if
know-
you
I don't
send
even
it.
know why we're donating.
It,
I didn't hear that
anti-
part.
it's the anti. There we go. The Anti-Counterfeiting Educational Foundation. It was part of what people might have known as ICTA, but they are working to educate people in law enforcement about
Okay.
counterfeit coins and to try to stop the Chinese counterfeits from coming into the United States. So it's an educational proposition for law enforcement at this point.
Let me ask
And
you,
also
Bob.
remember, if you do donate through COINTALK and you use PayPal, please use friends and family. So Robert don't have to pay that 3% because, over time that gets expensive.
What I was like, Brad, is that by any chance anything that Hampton Consulting has done? Because Hampton Consulting, I know he talks to police officers about counterfeits himself.
Yeah, this is a national organization that, like I said, was an offshoot of ICTA, Industry Council for Tangible Assets. They are going to take the lead in trying to eliminate this problem. And some of the biggest names in numismatics are on the board at this time. John Albanese and Beth Deischer. I forget John Brush, John Feinbaum. They're all involved. So this is not a fly-by-night operation. Your money will be well spent. Yeah.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So counterfeit Morgans are all over here in South Carolina flea markets. They don't care. That is where most of the counterfeits are going. They're going to country auctions and flea markets, and they are preying on the elderly and the newcomers. And it leaves a bad taste in somebody's mouth when they come in. They show me coins that they bought at a local auction, and they think they get a good deal when they buy, uncirculated Morgan dollars at $20 a piece. But when they come in and I say, hey, look, they're not worth anything, that leaves bad taste in everybody's mouth.
Or even eBay. A lot of people are buying fakes off of eBay.
There
when
are
they're-
eBay police that try to keep that from happening.
I know.
Shaw's Mining says, I'd like to see a counterfeit Morgan so I don't get screwed.
I'm working on that, Brad.
Just showing you one isn't going to make you an
That's
expert
gonna
because they look different. Not everyone looks the same. But one
There's
of the
so many different types
signs
out there.
is it looks a little bit more like aluminum than silver.
I've got a
And
case full of the counterfeits, and
they don't
I've
weigh
even got
right.
one.
They don't
I've got
ring
one that's
right.
made out of silver, but it's a
Uh-huh.
counterfeit.
It's best
So-
to know your coins. Get to know the coin and how much it weighs and
Yeah.
how,
So Shaw's my first advice would be, let's not learn what a counterfeit looks like, but let's learn what a real one looks like.
A real
that's
one.
what I just
yeah.
said, Brad.
I'm sorry, I missed you.
I told you Nick's
So
was smart.
Go
Yeah,
to a
Brad, I
reliable
told you.
dealer
I
and buy a
told you.
nice raw one.
Nick's
I
has
got
got it
plenty.
together.
However,
Shoot her name, for God's sake.
That's
Hey,
right.
whoa.
Alden?
Look at you,
Alden's
everybody.
so sweet.
But me. Okay, sorry guys. We've got a giveaway we got to do here. Okay, as soon as we're done with the giveaway, we'll get right back to all the excitement that everybody is doing right now. However, we do have to take, like I say, we have a giveaway. So if you guys did not go to last week's presentation and type in Dime FBL, hey, you will not be participating in this. However, for those of you who did, you are entered to win this 1 ounce silver round that's a rendition of a Mercury dime. So guys, good luck to everybody. But here we go. We're going to do a random picker and see who's the winner.
Daryl USA.
Daryl USA. Hey, hey, hey. Congratulations, Daryl USA. Let me take
Congrats.
Yep, congratulations to you, Daryl. Real quick, throw that back over to me, Robert. I am going to take, guys, I agree with what everyone said. Learn the coin. However, you want to see some fake Morgans? Here's an 1893. This Morgan is fake. It's the 1893S. Isn't that great? It's a more valuable coin. Okay, that's just one. Guys, I got plenty of them I can show you. I'm not going to show you all of them. There's an 1884. That's just a plain, but it's a counterfeit.
Yeah,
Now, this
before
one-
Robert was smart, I sold him a bunch of those.
Okay, 1870. I love these. The 1870, all the trade dollars. I like the ones that, oh gosh, I can't even remember all the years, but remember Brad there for a while. They took and they had the
Well, they had Carson Cities on years they didn't make any Carson
years.
Cities. They had Silver Eagles with like 1906 dates on them. So some of the early Chinese counterfeits were laughable. But
oh,
as they got a little smarter and a little smarter and a little smarter, they get a little better and a little better and a little better. So it's harder and harder to catch the bad guys now.
Yeah,
Would
I
you
had
say
a
that
friend
they're-
of mine.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I had a friend of mine bring me a CC, and I got to looking at it. I weighed it weighed right, checked it on my silver meter, it had the right amount of silver, but the design on the reverse was wrong completely. And I just happened to have a CC of the same year, and I looked at them, compared them, and that's how I knew it was a fake. They've gotten good at it. Sorry, Nix, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Would you say that they're counterfeiting more of ASEs or Morgans? What are you seeing more of?
I'm seeing a lot of both.
Mhm.
Probably more
Single.
Morgans, but
Because I believe there was a lot confiscated, I think, in Chicago of ASEs that came over from China.
oh yes, there's been large amounts of confiscations
Mhm.
at most entry points.
Gee
The
whiz.
problem is they probably are only catching 10 or 20% of what's coming in.
Wow.
A lot
That's
more is getting through than is
Is
getting
that a
caught.
fake?
That's a fake.
and that's scary for new collectors, and
Exactly.
coming into the hobby because
Yeah.
that would, turn a new collector off really quickly.
Yeah, to me, I think the most produced ones are Morgans and trade dollars, but it's wild. I didn't know they were faking them.
Oh, the
Mhm.
Silver Eagles are probably now one of the. There's more than trade dollars now because people
Wow.
got smart to the trade dollars. They basically said if a trade dollar is not certified, it's not real. So they started counterfeiting.
And the security
the
features
more.
on the ASC lack in from a lot of other coins that have security features.
The House of Silver and Gold says get a scale and a magnet. Yes, I agree, but they are making counterfeits now that are not picked up by a magnet. So you have to be very careful that people come in all the time and with counterfeits and they go, well, it didn't stick to a magnet. I said, well, okay, so if they make it out of nickel, it's not going to stick to a magnet. So
yeah, but they're making counterfeits out of silver. That's
Yeah, they
scary.
are silver plated. I saw where they're silver plated, and then you had to drill into it. Somebody drilled into it, and then there was copper on the inside. So,
Everybody says a scale and a magnet. I use a scale and a magnet slide. That helps.
Oh, yeah.
I use the magnet slide. That helps. And I also have a metal detector that'll tell me how much silver, how much gold, that kind of thing. But it's a $5,000 machine. So, I mean,
I have
not
one.
everybody
Mine's
can
not
afford
that expensive, but that's
not
a good
everybody can
idea.
afford that.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah, so silver, they will do silver rounds out of a base metal, and then they will heavily plate them. And some of them have gotten to the point where they'll even fool a Sigma machine.
Yes, that's exactly the one. I Stacking Surfer. It fooled the
That's
Sigma
scary.
machine. Yeah, it is because
That's
one of
scary.
his friends bought a whole tube.
Okay,
and
so
thought they were real.
the scariest fake that I ever saw was a 1903 S Morgan dollar, uncirculated. And if you look at it, at first glance, everything looked good because the counterfeiter had taken a 1903 Philadelphia dollar and cut it in half, and we think an 80S Morgan dollar and cut it in half, and then bonded it. Now, the telltale sign is the 80S, the S mint mark, that style was not used in 1903. So when they handed it to me, and it was in a fake slab, they handed it to me and I looked at it and I turned it over and I went, okay, something's not right here. And so the style of the mint mark didn't match.
With the power of Google, though, it would help when people can look at the coins, pictures of the coins when they're looking at them to tell if they're fakes too.
Oh, I love how everyone's talking about silver. They took and they counterfeit silver. They counterfeit silver. I remember.
What about the
several
counterfeit
years ago-
gold?
Hold on, several years ago. Screw the gold. 1992 Denver Lincoln Penny. They got it over even on PCGS and NGC. They counterfeited the 1892 transitional error, which is about a $4,000 or $5,000 coin. Somebody had a roll of them. The guy went over to, oh, I know he's guilty as hell. It's just he was smart enough where he took all the rest of them and supposedly threw them into a Coinstar machine. However, he took in, I believe, PCGS and NGC, I believe, took and they graded a couple, 2 or 3, maybe 4 before they were located. And what they had done was they ate the zinc out, they left the copper alone, used that and glued it on top of a coin to show what looked like a transitional error. Very difficult. They did a very good job of it. However, I believe they're speculating somewhere in the line of $15,000 to $30,000 got pulled and went through the system. And like I said, I do know a couple got slabbed until they noticed it. I don't remember who found out about that, but I was involved in it. And the person that did it, they were counterfeiting other coins up in Ohio. I hope they've been busted by now if they're out there. And
That's
I knew their name.
sophisticated. Very sophisticated.
This person
They
did
should be in jail. They should
Yeah.
be in jail.
But counterfeiting isn't anything new, right? I mean, it's been done for years and it will continue to be.
That's been done since coinage has been around. I mean,
Right?
Counterfeiting started the day after coinage started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are counterfeit electrum coins from Lydia from 600 BC.
That's when coinage was supposedly, they say that's the first coinage that ever was done. By the way, that bar I showed a little bit ago, guys, that's a counterfeit. That was a gift to Florida from Brad. Florida has it as just a show and tell. I mean, that was nice to where we are able to take and keep track.
Brad, did you give her fake silver and say Merry Christmas?
Yeah, I did.
Brad wouldn't do that.
Brad wouldn't do that. Mhm.
Yeah, I would. I did.
If anybody's got any questions about the cat bust half or
That was a great presentation.
anything else,
I learned a
please
lot.
put it in the chat so we can address it.
They're not my favorite, but I learned something because I did the research beforehand so I could try to question.
Well, come on, Nick. What questions do you
I
have?
already put them in the chat. You got them. So
Oh, okay. That's the best you
I
could do.
tried, but at least it gave me incentive to go learn about them because those were one I have not really done much research on.
Well,
So-
that was me. I had spent a couple of days doing the research on this, and I talked to Robert yesterday on the phone, And I was going to pop a few questions at him that I had, and he was like, no. I want to learn as you go.
Well, you did
Well,
great
no,
because you really had all the questions. I mean,
Yeah.
they're great questions.
Well,
Well,
I knew Brad's questions that he was asking.
Flora just said that he gives you that you give her a lot of fake gifts. No, Brad.
I can't get rid of them any other way.
I heard her in the background. I'm just teasing.
Now, Brad's a smart man when it comes to the cat bust.
Yes,
he
very.
is.
Yes. But I did.
He's hard to stump. I still say I got him on one.
Okay, I know for a fact we got things that we got to go forward and move forward on, and there's two issues. Yeah, two issues here. We got to take Nick and JB both have got to do presentations. Everybody in the panel has done a presentation.
I thought if I got Andy, I was off.
Nope. That don't get you off. That don't work that way.
Hey, I still got to do one, and I did the questions today.
We're doing the women panel presentation.
That's right. You're supposed to, and that's fine with me. I have no problem. I'm just taking a
Nick.
You and JB both have a presentation that you owe
Liberty $50. That'll be it.
What? The $50?
It's 4:20. Favorite time of the day.
Oh, I don't. Oh,
yeah.
Brad needs to go have a safety meeting. We'll pause for this identification.
House of silver and gold. Just laid it on me.
Well,
I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah, I can tell you right now. I know Brad, and I would be willing to bet he ate. Hell, he'd be lucky if he smelt the shit, let alone.
No, I'm sure. That's why I can tease him, because I'm sure that he does not. So that's why he's easy to tease.
Exactly. I know him too well. So, but
no, that was a great presentation and great questions, because I think you got it all covered. So I thought that was.
Yeah,
it was very
I'm sure we didn't cover everything.
Well, most of my questions.
But like I say,
get our bust for the next giveaway. For next week's giveaway, guys, at the end, don't forget, at the end of this podcast, you got to go into the chat and type in capped. And you will be entered for Alden Davis. He's got a bust half. And then Brad, we'll do just two winners. We're going to do the same letter, but we're going to have two winners. One will get this cap bust right here.
That's very nice, Alden.
Yep, that is a nice one. And the other person will get a CD from Brad, which I don't think Brad has it right there. Yes. CAP.
No, it's downtown. I'm going to give it to Robert tomorrow and make him ship it.
What is it?
I'll ship mine.
Edgar Souders Bust Half Fever Volume 2.
Cool. That means I can take it. I can put it in my computer and I'll be able to check it out myself.
I can tell you right now, the chat's going to want to win Alden's more.
You know what?
I'll be shipping mine from here at the house, and just give your information. I'm not going to be here next week, so give your information to Robert, whoever wins it, and I'll make sure that it's in the mail the next day.
Very nice of you.
Yep, that's fine. Thank you very much, Alden, for that, guys. If you have any questions, ask them now.
More than welcome. More than welcome.
Any coin related question, we don't mind.
Yeah, we just covered $50 today. He left the half dimes, the dimes, the quarters, the dollars pretty much alone.
I was super busy today. What was the spot price for silver? I haven't even checked.
It was
John Jacob.
Last time I looked, it was like 28.48, but I don't know.
So it has not broken that 29 mark again, has it?
No, I'm at 28.15 right now.
Okay.
Oh, it's dropped some.
Yeah.
John Jacobs is asking personal questions. Yes, it is.
I think we've got $110 donated so far, Brad. Just to let you know.
We're halfway there.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
And I have on Kitco.
I am too. After the show.
Kitco says $28.14 on silver and $2,378.20 on gold. And if you happen to be a Bitcoin, which to me I don't do Bitcoin. We're
I
gonna
don't
find out.
understand crypto enough, but I put a tiny bit in because it's supposed to be halving and doing all this other stuff. So I just put a little bit in to see what happens.
We'll see.
You don't get much Bitcoin for $2, Nick.
I didn't put $2 in, but I didn't put a lot of money that I would miss if I lost it all.
I don't do Bitcoin. I'm sorry.
Oh.
If I can't physically hold it, I don't want it.
That's funny because that's what a lot of the coin community says, but a lot of the coin community now is getting into crypto too. So I don't understand the philosophies, right? How can you marry them together?
I'm just old.
Well, I mean, I am too because I don't. So I put in about $100 a couple of years ago, and I cashed it out at $2,500.
Wow.
Sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
Daryl USA put in a question. Can you pop that one up?
Yep.
All right. So the reeded edge, are they more expensive than? Well, it's not the smooth edge; it's the lettered edge. But the reeded edge halves effectively were only made for 3 years, 37, 38, and 39. So based on the fact that they were made so many fewer years, makes them a little harder to come by. They're not necessarily that much more expensive. So hold out, find a nice coin in your grade range, and they're out there. So that won't kill you.
And if I'm not mistaken, those 3 years, there was a lot produced compared to the prior year. Is that
37
true?
is the most common of the dates. 36
Yeah,
is
that's what I
extremely rare.
Ah,
If you can find a 39 at little to no premium over a 37 or 38, buy that. The 39 seem to be a bit scarcer, and the 39 New Orleans is the first collectible mint marked bust halves.
Oh my gosh, this right here.
Silver Eagles do not have GPS trackers inside of them. Sorry.
I mean, U.S. Mint can get a lot of their packaging right. They're not going to track us. I mean, they can't do that right.
Yeah, I mean, for a coin that they're not making a whole shit ton of money on, they're not going to put in a 15 or, well, it's the government, probably be a $500 tracking device. I don't see that happening.
really?
I mean, remember, it's the government. We pay, what, $20,000 for a toilet seat.
Out of a whole panel, the only person that's got a tracker on their car is Brad. So I mean, it's cool.
Probably so.
I know my good
Well,
friend,
my parole officer likes to keep very close tabs on me.
Your parole officer. Well, I guess I got an OnStar, so OnStar can keep up where my vehicle is.
Yeah, I like my new car. I get in and I start it up, and it tells me where I'm going. Scary.
None of us can afford those type of cars. It probably drives you too, doesn't it?
No. Now, see,
My
you have to
my car
understand, Nick,
tell.
I am so anti automation and driving because I like to drive. So that's why I like my 370Z. It doesn't have all this crap on it. It's got a six on the floor, and it's got a real clutch, and I get to have some fun.
Well,
But,
see, I drive.
I'm not into self-driving.
I like the Jeep Wrangler because I can drive. Us girls in Maine, we can drive a stick and go in the woods and go mudding.
I've restored a 99 Jeep Cherokee. In fact, Robert's seen it, and it's like unbelievable. It's a great vehicle. It has nothing on
I
it.
do miss the days where I actually
You just get in, you put it in your gear, and you drive.
I know. I do miss the days where I could drive. I could turn my key instead of pushing a button, and I could. I had the shift thing there. Now I got all these buttons to pull, push, and.
I'm a Jeep guy, so I mean,
I love Jeeps too. Well, Jeeps are big time up here. Well, of course, Alden. Yeah.
Have you been ducked? Have you been ducked yet?
Got a Dodge Challenger waiting for me.
What does that mean?
Oh, being ducked? It's a kind of a thing. It's they got little
they put ducks on the Jeep.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got a whole row of them. I'm like, what? I mean, this is crazy. People are coming up to the Jeep and putting them on there, and I'm like, that's.
I got a whole case of them in the back that people
really?
laid on my Jeep. It's unbelievable.
Wow. It is weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
oh,
it is.
And being part of the Jeep community, if you don't wave to a person driving a Jeep,
Yeah.
they'll flip you off.
I got a wave hand on my mirror on my
You
side
do?
view.
Okay. It's weird. It's
I don't have a whole hand. I only have a finger.
There you go, Brad. I think you know the answer to this question.
No, I didn't know that.
Okay.
I'll have to go look at the Silver
I'll have to
Eagle
go look
later.
that up. I've never heard that before.
I've never heard that either.
All right.
That's crazy.
So we got to grab one of the new Silver Eagles with the notch and look and see if that's the case.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
interesting.
know that.
I don't have
that
one.
is interesting. I didn't mean to get off topic with the
Really
Jeep
what?
thing, but yeah, that's cool. I
Yeah,
did
that's
not
why
know
I
that.
pulled up. I just had it up. You didn't see it? Oh, yeah, refresh it.
So, Brett, in Alden, what makes you like those coins? That's one of your favorite coins, correct?
Yeah,
What draws you to those particular coins?
what got me into the cat buzz?
Yes.
The first time I ever saw one, which wasn't that many years ago, I was at the coin show in Cincinnati, and I went by a table that I think Brad Karoleff was running, and I bought one. And I've been collecting them ever since, and I just fell in love with the series.
Mhm.
I love it. I love the Walking Liberty.
Yeah.
Those probably are my two favorite.
Good
Is
coins.
okay.
Yeah.
Cat Bust and Walking Liberty.
Walking Liberty is just gorgeous. Yes, my favorite.
Yeah, they're
So
gorgeous.
for me, Nick, it was in 1978. I picked one up, and the face of Miss Liberty reminded me of what you looked like as a baby then, and I decided to collect them. But
Well,
I had been building a typeset at that time, and there were two brothers that came into the shop with this book, and they looked at the bust half dollars, and I asked them what they were doing, and they explained die marriage collection, and after they explained it to me, I decided, that sounds pretty neat. So it was it is the largest, oldest, cheapest silver coin that I could buy at the time. And so I started collecting them.
do you still have that set today that you collected back then?
That's part of my set today. Yes.
Okay, very good. I'm glad that you still have it because
Well, it's weird that you said that, because when I bought that first cat bus from you at the show, I was putting my typeset together, which I have completed since and upgraded. But yeah, that's weird.
I never completed my typeset. I never could get a 1793 half cent or chain cent or the 93 Liberty cap set. I just I could never find the early coins that I could afford that I liked. So I kind of gave up. But
yeah, it took me about 3 years to build mine.
Okay,
So
real
you guys-
quick, guys. Hold on a second. Robert Pintoff says, how about a saint God in history? You know what? That's a wonderful idea, Robert Pintoff. And you know what? We don't mind having people that are out there in the stream.
Yes, Robert.
Live and do a presentation. You're welcome to, if you would like to get on the camera, do your research, and get your butt in behind the back door here.
You can have my
We'll be happy
turn.
to pull you up.
You can have my turn for the presentation. You can have it.
No,
I mean, I will
way.
let you have mine. I mean, I hate to do that, give my spot away, but you're more than welcome to it.
Don't work that way. Okay, Deputy Gypsy Wolves. I do have a cherry picker's guide. The only one I have is the 6th edition, volume 2. I don't have any of the other ones, but I think I have one left if you would like it. They're shipping and handling about $50. So, okay, sorry
And
about that,
it's very
guys.
much- I have one, and it's I reference it all the time. Yeah.
I've got a
sent
few
me
left
one,
on the
and I
shelf,
love it.
Robert.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, Brad's got a few. I can tell you if I run out, I'll be happy to go down and get it from Brad. That's fine.
There you
Hi,
go.
Hello,
Brad.
Rhonda.
I'll see you.
Okay.
So how do you display? Do you have them in books, or do you have them where you can display your coins? How do you go back and just look at them, or what do you do with them?
Okay. So I'm one of the last dinosaurs in the world. Most of mine are raw.
Okay.
They're
And
in a cotton. They're in a cotton envelope and a paper envelope with notations on it. I just contracted with CAC Grading
Mhm.
to do my set.
Oh, wow.
So over the next year, I am going to be putting all the girls in plastic,
Really?
and they're going to take up 10 times as much room and be harder to store. But also, if something
Easier to-
happens, it'll be much easier for my children to sell.
Right. But you also can display some of them too. I think there's beauty in these coins and they need to be shown.
What's beautiful is when you come to Cincinnati and I dump one out in your hand and you have the 200-year-old coin, rolling around
That
in your
is,
hand.
and I think that's very cool because I really do think there's something to be said having some raw coins and not all graded.
Right.
I love my
until you're a
rock.
novice and want to sell them.
And that's true too, because now I'm thinking about sending a lot of my Walking Liberties in to be graded because I have half and half raw and then half graded. So, but you're right, it would be an easier sell.
So what are you going to do with all the ones that come back cleaned?
I don't think they're cleaned. I'm smarter than you think when I'm looking at coins.
You're
Now,
smarter than the average bear. Is that
Well,
what
yes,
you're
and a
telling
lot
me?
of them that
I
I'm buying.
keep telling you, Brad. I keep telling you, Nick
I
is
do
a smart
buy
lady.
my collection. I've had the collection completed for a long time, but when I see a pretty coin online, I'm gonna buy it. But that's not part of the collection. That's just something I keep on the side.
Well, most of the BU and higher walkers I have, I bought from Robert and Joe, so I know they're not clean.
So
There you go.
Nick, I've got a coin that you need. Brad's seen it and he said, "Oh, that's one we need to take and possibly get a CAC on it." And that's the 46 Walking Liver double die reverse.
oh, is it beautiful?
Ooh.
It's in a MS65 PCGS. So yeah,
Nice.
it's one
That's
of them
sweet.
coins. When I got it, I'll tell you what, I showed it to somebody who collected varieties, but a beginner, and I showed him the coin, and I mean, it's a stupidly strong double die. And when I showed it to him, he's like, "What am I looking for?" I said, "The whole back is extremely strongly double die, but it's such a strong double die, guys. It looks like it belongs."
Well, you gonna show us? Because I'm very interested to see this.
It's right now. Brad's got it. I don't have it at my place. It stays in a walk-in safe in downtown Cincinnati.
Oh, I'd like to
Oh.
have my coins with me.
I'm
I'd
sorry.
love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Brad's like, shh.
So I think it was the 1929D. That was the last coin I had to get for my collection, and I almost bought it in Ohio raw, but it was in the store when I was in Ohio, but it was so expensive, so I ended up buying it graded because I mean, because they were even like at the worst grade, they were very expensive. So I wanted to buy it graded.
Nick,
Mhm.
I'm seriously thinking about popping $4,000 on that 5.5 double die that Robert's got. I'm that close.
That's so whoa, that's well past my budget because my taste is like
Mine too, but I want
Alden, I would give you my highest recommendation to buy my coin from Robert.
I've already said it that it's on consignment from you, I think, Brad. So I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, you've already said
One of
that.
them coins that, guys, like it or not, that's a coin that you do not wholesale.
I'm that
I mean,
close.
this is a
I talked-
problem-free coin, folks.
wow. I have to see this
beautiful.
coin.
I talked to my wife about it. She's like, "If you want it, honey, buy it."
Well, you're
I'm
so sweet. I'm
thinking
sure
about it.
she
Yeah.
would. I
I'm
mean, but
thinking about
I
it.
have
Real
to sell
serious.
taste on a boxed wine budget.
Well, I mean, I get champagne taste on a budget, but I can afford that basically.
That's all.
but
That would be.
I'm thinking about it. I'm
amazing.
seriously thinking about it because
And what would
That's
you
one
do with
coin
it?
that-
Would you just like look at it and put it up, or
It's
would
a
you
coin-
like?
it's a coin that I've wanted ever since I got into this 10 years ago.
Really?
And, yeah, and to me, it would be the ultimate.
Guys, just so you know, when you get into a coin, as I say, like this, and Alden, just to let you know, I've thought seriously about buying it myself. I mean, because it is what it is. I mean, this is a MS63 brown. You ain't got to worry about it changing from red. Beautiful coin.
Always something, isn't it?
No, it's not just beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Well, like I said, just look. You don't have no carbon spots. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's just a beautiful variety.
Just like Robert says, it's the surfaces have stabilized. You don't have
Yep.
to worry about your red turning brown or anything like that. It's just a very wholesome piece.
Frank
Yes,
said
and you
it was
have no carbon spots on it, guys. I mean, that's going to grow. This is a coin that it's already in an environment that's been taken care of. Now, if it was mine, I would possibly put it in. Intercept Intershield has a bag you can put them in, but it avoids you from seeing it that much. However, yeah, that coin there is one that, like I said, and this is no joke, Alden. I've thought seriously about it myself. The price,
Yeah,
Paul,
like I
is
said, I'm this
$4,000.
close. I'm this close.
Well, you're not the only one, but it's a $4,000 coin, Paul. Yeah, by the way, just to let y'all know, that there showed up and somebody says, "Oh, it's only $39.95."
Oh my gosh.
Not $4,000. So there, Brad.
Hey, I gotta throw in a tip. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
for that
it's
coin, I'm
$5
throwing a
right
$5
now if
tip.
you buy it. And this
No.
Oh, yeah, I want that coin bad.
Frank said it's the dream coin from his youth too. Is it the Walking Liberty or the penny, Frank?
The 55 double die.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that 55
Yes.
that's the one.
Oh, freaking awesome. Thank you. That's very nice.
He's
They
so
found the
freaking awesome.
double die printing.
I know he's so freaking awesome. I mean, that's just freaking awesome.
I'll get it here in just a second.
Hey, Dee Dee, how are you?
Hi there.
Good to see you, Sharp Eye. Good to see you too.
Here you go, Alden. Take a
Lincoln's
look.
doing a double take.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
God! Oh God!
Oh my
Oh,
gosh, that's
God.
so. Oh my.
I am foaming at the mouth.
Well, I want you to see, like I said, there's just no problem with
God.
this coin.
Holy smokes, that's gorgeous. Jeez.
Oh, it's past gorgeous. It's
That's
the
phenomenal.
ultimate. It's the ultimate. I
I mean,
think.
even like the I mean, it looks like a W right there, but it's not. Of course, we know it's not, but
Well, there's a couple
I've got a
W's right
19
there.
no, I'm talking about the U looks like a W. The TR.
I have a 1909 VDB-S, and it's not even in the same league. I'm sorry, it's not. That's just
That's
a
just-
gorgeous
that's-
damn coin.
Very much so.
Look at that. Oh my God. Oh.
Okay, now I think I want one, and I'm foaming at the mouth too.
There you go.
It wasn't one of my dream ones, but now after seeing this one, that's pretty spectacular. Really is.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's very
It is.
impressive.
It is.
Hey, Dave. Do we still have the AU 58 55 double die in the case?
Did that sell already? Because I was looking at
That
that
showed
one. too.
perfect. I mean, it was it showed a little bit too well because now I want one, Robert.
That's bad. That's bad when Robin and I are thinking about buying the same coin because we're in
Well,
two
let's
totally different
Have an
categories.
auction.
Paul Hampton's looking at it too. So, and I'll
Oh,
tell you what,
Polly,
who
Polly
knows?
loves those pennies.
Yeah, man.
Robert,
What?
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a cut of this if it sells here. Those that don't have enough money for the MS63,
Well, can I see it under the scope, please?
I don't have a scope set up
Oh.
here. It looks the same as the other one, except it's an AU58 instead of an MS63. So I have an
Wow.
AU58 brown CAC,
Right, but
55
there's still,
double die,
there's a discrepancy a little
And-
bit of the numbers.
and you can save $1,000 by
Really?
buying this one for $3,000 delivered Talk to Robert
Now
if you
show
want
it.
it.
Show it now, Brad, when you're on
Wow.
camera, so maybe we can see it better.
You won't be able to see the coin any
Yeah.
better. You just see the holder. But
Okay.
the spread is exactly the same as the one that Robert showed because it's from the same die. So
Okay.
the
Ah.
spread is exactly the same. The only thing that's different is
okay.
the grade.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. So AU
Okay, I get it now.
round CAC 3,000 delivered, and talk to Robert about buying it. If you are interested, I'll
Layaway?
sure, we'll take layaway. You give me $2,900 down and the other 100 when you get it.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah, we would work something out if through Robert if that's okay.
No, I'd call your
I did.
shop.
I didn't know you had another one. That's crazy.
Well,
And I looked at the other one, guys, and
I have a roll or two, sitting some. No,
he had. Well, I don't know. Do you have that second one downtown that's still AU?
Did somebody
Yeah.
bring that
Right
in?
now
Did you
they
find
own
it?
3 of them. Right now they own 3 of them. I can tell you right now. I've thought seriously about getting the one. So
Did somebody
Question,
bring those
question.
in, or did you find them yourself?
I bought them already certified.
Okay.
Okay. What I'm asking
But I
is
did
how
send
many-
this one. I did send this one for the green bean.
Okay. And
How many of them double dies in that kind of condition are unknown to exist?
you'd have to go to the pop report and look at that.
Yeah.
Brad, you got a question from Robert Pintoff. He says, "Hey, Brad, what's the best price on the 55 DBO? You can sell it right now."
$3,000 delivered.
That's on the AU 58.
That's on the AU 58 CAC.
Okay, I think he might have been talking the MS 63.
Well,
is the
that's
importance-
in your hands. That's 4,000 delivered, right?
That's what you told me.
Well,
I
there
haven't
we
done
go.
my years.
what is the importance of the green bean, as you call it? Why
Okay,
is it?
so are you going to talk or listen?
Well, I haven't decided yet, Brad.
Okay.
We're
Let me-
froze right now.
The importance of the green bean, that is John Albanese grading the grading companies.
Hmm.
So John Albanese has looked at the coin and decided that it is a superior coin than average for that grade. And so there are people that will not buy a coin that isn't beamed. I'm not one of them. I can make up my own mind, but it does help. It's just another set of very, very experienced eyes that have looked at the coin.
Or extra expense.
Okay, so on the current electronic gray sheet, the 55 double die in AU 58 CAC, the retail price listing there is $3,300. The bid price is $2,640 on an AU 58 CAC. So, like I say, the AU 58 is 3,000 delivered. The MS 63 brown, the gray sheet retail number is $4,120 versus a $3,300 bid, and that one is $4,000 delivered. So it's a chance to get one of them before they go to the Central States Convention in a couple of weeks. They'll be at my table there if they don't sell beforehand. How hard is it to find slab tone cap busts? Are they common or rare to see? They're pretty common because they should be toned. They're 150 or 200 years old, so they shouldn't be white. So I think it's actually rarer to find just a pure white coin. And if you do, it's probably been dipped at some point. But the toned bust half dollars in AU are not difficult to find. Now, there's different types of toning, so you have to now define what type of toning are you looking for. Much like Morgan dollars, if you want rainbow toned and beautiful, much tougher. If you want what we call gray dirt kind of toning, which is maybe more of a smoky gray silver coloration, those are much more common.
Okay. I don't know what happened to Alden, everybody. I know a few weeks ago he's having problems with his internet. Joe Gerben said he's having problems. And I do know I heard him say right before when we were live and I didn't see no freeze. He said we're froze right now. So I have a feeling he may be having problems with his internet. So, any other questions? If we missed it, you may have to ask it again, guys. I'm
actually surprised nobody asked questions on like half dimes and dimes. It's, everything was half dollar centric today.
I know, but you complained whenever I showed a half dime. So, I mean, they's probably afraid, poor people.
Yeah, he needed to go out for a cigarette after thinking about buying that cent. Yes, Yote fan.
Oh, he might. Yeah, he just might have. But Alden is somebody that he just may pop on that one. I mean,
hey, Nick,
Mhm.
I'm thinking about styling my hair like that. Do you think that would be?
I think you already do have a comb over like I do.
Yeah, but I was kind of looking for one that came down a little longer.
Oh,
what,
well,
you saying you have a comb over like Donald Trump? What the hell?
I don't think it like that, but I'm talking about the poof like right here, like I have. He's got the little wave too.
Ah, okay.
So I'm going to be cutting my hair. So we'll have to, stay tuned.
Wow.
Well, it's so long right now and it's getting heavy for summertime. So I tell him,
Are you going to cut off enough that you can donate some to Locks of Love?
I have done that in the past. I don't know if I'll do that now. Sure, why not? We'll buy the coin.
Oh, a mullet. I don't think I can do a mullet. Oh, there you go. Paul Hampton says you should auction off locks of you air. I think that might be your hair. That would be a fundraiser. Come on, Nick.
I'll cut it off for charity. Uh-huh.
How much to go bald?
You kidding me? No.
Sinead, how much to go Sinead O'Connor?
No way.
Sinead O'Connor.
No, everybody looks better with
GI
hair.
cut.
Just like every woman, it doesn't hurt to put a little color on your face because it just helps.
I want to apologize. My internet went down, but I'm back.
Nick, you didn't try me, to call my bluff like the fella at a few years ago at our Coin Club banquet at Christmas time. He said that he would donate $100 to our charity to push a pie into my face. And I looked right at him and I said, I'll give $300 to do it to you. And so I got to take a wonderful blueberry pie and smoosh him with it.
I was there.
I want to eat it.
I was there. That is legit. I was there for that Christmas party. I believe that might have been you, Floor. I don't think Floor was there, was she?
Wow, John Jacobs has just stumped me. I don't know why that was the case. That's just what they agreed on, but I don't know exactly why. Sorry. But they changed content a couple of times too.
Yeah, I think I may know why, because the twine was so thin that they needed a little more nickel in it to make it stiffer. That's
Nickel
what
or
I've
copper?
read.
Nickel or copper?
Copper, whatever the other metal was. They, I think they put it in to make it a little stiffer because even at 75%, you could bend it in half.
Yeah, you can bend those puppies there, you know.
Yeah. I've got a few
I won't cut
times.
it, Polly.
I believe that's the reason. I may be wrong, but that's what I've read in theory. I don't think anybody knows exactly.
It's fine.
Hey guys,
thought
just
there was
to
a
remind you, we are up to about $110 in donations. Brad said up to 250. He will match it. I do know I'm going to be making a donation. Alden said he will.
I'm going to be making a decent sized donation. I am.
Well, we'll try and get him up to that 250. Make him pay that 250.
I just want Brad to pay. I just want Brad to pay.
I know, I do too. I really do. So I'm going to make a good donation after this as well.
There you go, Nick.
Hey,
And
Nick,
it's a good tax
save
write-off,
your money
everybody.
and buy a plane ticket and come to the show.
I do want to come to the show. I would
Oh
drive.
God,
though.
I'd love to see you next. I would.
Oh, I would love to meet you, Alden. I need to put some Yankee back into you.
I caught your podcast the other night. And it was great. I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
I think I commented on it. But,
oh, yes.
Okay, question from Silver Fox Finance. What are some sleeper bus coinage that's undervalued? You know, the market, I think the market is mature enough that there really isn't any hidden value like what you're looking for. Now, there is a possibility to cherry pick rare dye marriages for common prices. So that would be the thing that you should learn about most of all is the rare dye marriages. But in anything, every now and then there's a date here or there that seems to be more popular. Like 1823 halves seem to be more popular than 22 or 24s. There are more site varieties that year, and so if you get a chance to buy a 23 at a lower price, that might be one. But I think more than anything else, learning what original surfaces look like in bus coins and trying to find ones that have not been played with at any time during their life. Because as the series gets older and older, more and more people decide they think they want to try to improve the look of the coins. They may crack them out of slabs, treat them, and then try to get them put back into higher grade slabs. So there's a lot of shenanigans that go on and have gone on for 2 centuries. So to me, the sleeper coins are the ones that just show nice original crust.
My advice would be to do what Robert does a lot, is cherry pick. Know what you're looking for.
Oh, she's moving.
Read a lot. Have an idea what you're looking for and cherry pick.
Yeah, good luck cherry picking because there's a lot of dealers that have learned that there's extra money in some of these varieties. And
or they have somebody who cherry picks their inventory and gives them a share of the profits.
Oh, is that how that works? That's fun.
So the House of Silver and Gold says after the Browns win the Super Bowl in 25, in the year 2525,
I was going to say
if
that'll never
man
happen.
is still
Sorry.
alive, if women can survive, the Browns may have a chance.
I don't think so. That'll never happen. Sorry.
I'm
Nick,
pretty sure that Nick will survive.
You don't know the one-hit wonder that I was referring to in that.
No, I did, but I'm just thinking the Browns. I mean, the Browns, when's the last time? I mean,
that
they
did,
were.
yeah.
Huh?
That was 25-25, I thought.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
guys, we have 2 minutes.
Nick,
2-minute warning here.
Look up Zager and Evans in the year 2525.
Okay.
Actually, it's a year one. We're in 24 now.
Guys.
So.
I know. So I was, yeah.
Okay, we're about to close up here, everybody. So we're going to go around and we're going to take and give
next
information.
week's subject.
I don't know. What is next week's subject?
What is that?
Nick?
Me?
I
don't
will be
know.
here next week.
JD.
so
I'm
I will be watching.
I'm
working on something, but I don't know if it's going to be next week.
Well, and that's okay. We'll figure something out, even if we have to just do an open discussion. Guys, we do not have that apparently decided yet. I do know we're working on a few things. We're working on trying to get Andy Steckman to come in.
And that's
do a
close to
discussion.
being booked as well. So, they're looking at a schedule. He's been doing about 4 or 5 shows a day.
I know.
YouTube.
He's
really
been,
busy.
yeah, and it gives us different opinions, which I like it. In fact, when we do it, Nick, I will say when we do it, I may just have like me, Andy, and possibly JB. I may leave everybody else out because there's not going to be a reason for it. He's got a lot of stuff that he talks about. Brad, I don't know. We'll see. Depends on.
Yeah, we don't need Brad because Andy will do most of the talking, and Brad won't be able to talk, and he'll just get mad.
Oh, there you go. So, but okay,
and you don't need my ugly face on there.
No, and I can just sit back and watch. But his last show that I saw him on Stacking Surfer, they had like 900 people in the chat. It was really a good show too because he talked about the presidential election and how that could affect the spot price. So
I watched it, and Nick, to be honest, I think I seen 11 or 1,200 in the chat at the time I was watching.
Oh, really?
I watched it, yeah, and I seen your comments and things of that nature. You just may not have been updated, but I was watching that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had a great,
I like how he responded.
A lot of great information. So let's go, Alden Davis. Let's close this puppy out.
I just want everybody to have a great week. Godspeed to everybody, and thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the COINTALK family, because we're pretty close knit. And I hope you enjoyed the question and answer session today. If we can do anything different, let us know. And Godspeed.
Thank you, Alden and Brad. It was a great presentation, and I learned a lot. And tonight, 6 to 7 on my channel, Surfer and I will be on tonight.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for asking some questions. Hope you had a good time, and see you next week.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Don't forget, we're going to have a sale tomorrow, 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube's COINTALK. Next week, we will have another podcast. If you guys got a suggestion, Mr. Pintoff, you brought up a great subject about the St. Gaudens. If you would like to present something on the show, guys, get with us. We have had other people. Soup, he came out here, Anthony, and he did a presentation. Feel free to come out. So let's see here. If you do like this kind of content, please do us a favor. Hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell. You'll be notified anytime that we go live. If you have any suggestions for us, send them to me at errorstoyou@aol.com, and we'll be happy to look it over. So thank you all very much. We hope you had a wonderful show, and we'll see you next Thursday right here on YouTube's COINTALK. Everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and don't forget, like I always like to say, happy hunting all.